Hey Bruce, and a very warm welcome to this explainer. I'd actually recommend grabbing a cup of coffee, pulling up a chair, and just getting comfortable. Today we're having a straightforward kitchen table chat about the trial run we just wrapped up for your business, Herdscape. So over the last couple of months, we put together a small pilot project, right? The goal was to see if we could help more South African farmers find your regenerative grazing courses online. Well, the results are in, and they're incredibly strong. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what we did, what actually happened, and what this all means for you going forward. No complicated marketing speak, I promise, just plain English and practical results.
Okay, let's dive into this by sharing a quick map of what we'll be walking through today to show you exactly how our recent trial worked out for Herdscape. We'll cover the giant Google notice board, what we actually did, the trial results, why this matters, and your options going forward.
Section 1. The giant Google notice board. Earning your spot. To start, let's just completely strip away the marketing jargon and talk about what this work actually is.
You know, people often throw around acronyms like SEO, which literally just stand for search engine optimization. But honestly, those technical words can make the whole thing sound way more complicated than it really is. The crucial point here is that we aren't buying ads. We are earning a permanent spot on Google's giant community notice board. Think of Google as the biggest local co-op notice board in the world. Every single day, farmers go there with questions. They want to know about carrying capacity, grazing lands, livestock management, the whole shebang. Getting your website to show up when they ask those questions, well, that's what SEO is all about. It's simply getting your notice pinned up on that board, right at eye level so the exact right people find you. And because we aren't paying for adverts, you aren't renting this space. You're earning it by providing good, honest answers. Once you earn that spot, it stays there and keeps working for you long after the initial effort is done.
Moving right along to Section 2, what we actually did, the pilot project. Let's look at exactly what we did over the last few months to get you onto that notice board. We ran a very straightforward 10-week free trial. Our goal was simple. We wanted to prove that we could get Herdscape seen by more farmers. So to do that, we essentially planted some seeds. We took the deep knowledge you already have about regenerative farming, and we turned it into a handful of practical, easy-to-read guide pages right on your website. We focused entirely on answering the everyday questions that farmers are genuinely asking out in the field, things like how to calculate carrying capacity or the difference between stocking rate and stocking density. And we publish these at a very manageable, steady pace of about 3 new pages a month. Nothing overwhelming, just a slow and steady addition of valuable information.
Section 3. The trial results. Measuring the impact. The seeds were planted, so what's really interesting now is seeing the actual harvest from that small effort.
Now, the sheer contrast between where you were and where you are now is absolutely wild. Before this trial began back in early May, your website was, well, it was incredibly quiet. It was only showing up on Google about 3 times a day. And more importantly, it was almost exclusively showing up to folks who were already typing the word Herdscape into the search bar on purpose. They already knew you. But after the trial, the picture completely changed. You went from being seen just 3 times a day by folks who already knew you to being seen 60 times a day. 60. And the absolute best part is that these are brand new farmers. These are folks who had never even heard of Herdscape, but they needed your expertise at the exact moment they searched for it.
And this brilliantly illustrates the impact. That is 22 times more visibility every single day. If we look at the total monthly views, your site went from just under 100 views in April to nearly 2,500 by late July. That's a 25-fold increase in monthly impressions. And I want to be clear, this wasn't just a sudden flash in the pan that disappeared a week later. It has been growing steadily, compounding every single month since the trial launched.
But of course, Bruce, getting a lot of eyeballs on your website doesn't actually mean much if they're the wrong eyeballs, right? I mean, if a bunch of accountants in London are finding your site, that really doesn't help your business. Well, even better news here. Nearly 9 out of 10 of the people finding your site now, 89% to be exact, are right here in South Africa. This is the exact audience your regenerative grazing course is built for. These are the folks on the land here at home looking for solutions that work in our specific climate and conditions.
Let's look at exactly what they were typing into Google to find you. The carrying capacity guide we publish really did the heavy lifting here. It put you at the very top of the page when farmers typed in these exact real-world questions. For livestock management courses, Herdscape is now the #1 result. For cattle carrying capacity per hectare, you are sitting in position 3, right on the first page. For how much grazing land per sheep, you are again the #1 top result. You are quite literally dominating the searches that matter most to your prospective students. It's fantastic.
Section 4. Why this matters. Permanent signposts. So we have the numbers, we see the growth. Let's look at why these numbers are so absolutely crucial for the future of your small business.
The big takeaway here is that earning your spot brings in fresh faces and keeps working for you long after the initial effort is done. First off, this pilot proved that even a small, unpaid effort can move the needle incredibly fast. Second, the growth is coming from completely new reach. You aren't just preaching to the choir anymore, you're reaching farmers who are discovering you for the very first time. And third, and perhaps most importantly, this kind of growth compounds. Think about it. If you take out an advert in an agricultural magazine, it disappears the day the next issue comes out, right? But these pages on your website, they act as permanent signposts, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they actually get stronger over time.
Section 5. Your options going forward. Keeping momentum. Since we know this is a 12-month commitment where results build on each other, much like a good farming cycle, let's look at how we can comfortably keep this momentum going.
Here is a really simple menu of options for the next season. Now remember, this is a proposal, not a bill. The only real choice is what pace you feel most comfortable with for your business. The Impact Pack covers 6 topics a month. This is definitely the fastest route. Then there's the Medium Pack, which covers 4 topics a month. And finally, the Super Light Pack, covering just 1 topic a month. All of them use the exact same successful strategy we just proved in the trial. The only difference is how many seeds we want to plant each month.
As your honest advisors, we always want to recommend what genuinely fits your current reality. Herdscape is a growing venture run by just the 2 of you. Because of that, we strongly recommend the Medium Pack. At 9,360 Rand a month, it just smoothly continues the successful 3 to 4 page a month pace that we've already proven works. It won't overwhelm you, but it will maintain and grow that incredible momentum we've seen since May.
But please remember, the pace is entirely up to you, and it can always be adjusted later. If the Medium Pack feels like a bit too much for right now, that is completely fine. Even the smallest package, the Super Light Pack, is far better than doing nothing and letting these hard-earned gains just go quiet. Just like tending to a pasture, doing a little bit of consistent work every month is always much better than walking away and hoping for the best.
The trial showed us beyond a shadow of a doubt that Herdscape can easily win the searches that matter most to South African farmers. We know the ground is fertile, and we know for sure the seeds will grow. So Bruce, the only question left for us to answer is, how many seeds do we want to plant next? Take some time to think it over and let's have a chat when you're ready. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts.